What's going on, everybody? We've got XCFL primetime action with the Cincinnati Bengals at home versus the New England Patriots. I got my boy Tosh right here. He and I are going to be doing this together. Primetime action with the Cincinnati Bengals at home versus the New England Patriots. I got my
Getting some technical difficulties right now.
Yeah, I'm hearing that myself.
Get it worked out.
Okay. Hearing that myself.
You still there?
Oh, okay. I figured out why I was hearing. Yeah, I was hearing an echo, my own voice, and I was like, "Wait, why am I hearing my own voice right now?" About 3 seconds after I say something, turns out it was I had the YouTube stream window open, and that is what happens whenever you leave your own, start creating a loop, and it was never ending. So we're good now, Tosh. Like I said, I'm happy to be here. Glad to have you with me. How are you doing today?
We're doing good. Excited to watch this battle. I think a lot of people want to watch and see what the Patriots are all about. Going to make that playoff run, and I know Smooth is talking a little bit about nobody watched the stream because they do have some exciting pieces on their team, and everybody wants to see the Bengals because all the wants to see all the hype behind all the Twitter posts. So it'll be exciting to see what both these guys are made of.
Absolutely. We got two of our most active users in the league, Robert and good old John over there for the Patriots, man. Like, these two users are a lot of fun to watch. They're a lot of fun to play. Never hear a bad word out of them, man. I'm so glad we could do some coverage on them because these two guys are some of the best that the XCFL has to offer.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know the Patriots have had some bad seasons the last couple, and they went through a string of different users, but Grizz is really nailed down and found a home there. And I know he was upset with some of the draft pieces that he got, but now I think they fell into place, and he's got the quarterback and the wide receiver he wants, and he's finding some success.
Absolutely. And on that point, both teams really hit pretty well in the draft, other than the fact that the Patriots did trade up to pick Capers, who they weren't so high on as soon as they drafted him. He's really turned out to be good, having a good season for him, and he might end up winning Rookie of the Year in the AFC.
Yeah, it was him and Holmes, and I think after hindsight's 2020, and you always know what you get, but looking at it at the beginning, and he was going back and forth. He wanted the better guy. He got the guy might not have been as good as Holmes, but in the end, they're the same type of player, and Capers has done really well for him.
Definitely. And speaking of the draft as well, the Bengals pulled a interesting player and seems to kind of be a jack of all trades type of guy. They got Brody Springs in the draft.
Yeah, Spriggs is he's one of those guys. He's really got a good promotional team in Cincinnati. I mean, all the tweets you get. He's a fun guy to watch. He's got a touchdown reception, and I looked it up. He's only given up one sack on the season, and they're already talking trash to the Falcons matchup with McKinley week 17.
Never have we seen an offensive lineman so promoted as the face of a franchise. It's really fun to watch, isn't it?
It definitely is, especially since linemen don't matter.
According to our two-time reigning Super Bowl champion, that is exactly what he would say. However, there are teams like the Bengals and others who do still value offensive line, and that's good to see.
Yeah, the Bengals offensive line is tough. I mean, they've got some good pieces there, and they've drafted high in the past, and some other previous users have used them. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see for sure.
Definitely. That was something I noticed because I'm in the AFC North, so I also play the Bengals quite a bit. And there really isn't a bad guy on that entire line. You got Banks on one side at right tackle, you have Schultz on the other, and in the middle, you've got Brody Springs locking it down at right guard. And Straczynski's had a few issues. His strength isn't the greatest, so he's a little bit vulnerable to that bull rush. But honestly, this line could be one of the best in the XCFL, if not for Hammer's line. Hammer's line is probably locking that down for the best because it's got multiple 90s. It's insane. But the Bengals is probably a very close second.
Yeah, the Bengals are young too. I mean, they have everybody's under 25 on their starting line, so that's good to have, especially in the next couple seasons.
Absolutely. And yeah, like you said, the high picks have helped. But this, and I've played every single one of our Bengals users that we. This is and this guy Robert. I mean, he's one of the most adaptable players that I've played. Like first game, it wasn't very close, but then the second one, I mean, it was a close game almost the whole way. It was a complete 180. And this is a guy that really I think will surprise some people in this second season. Now that he's had a full season in the XCFL, played a few players, he'll really turn some heads. Mark my words.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his results, I mean, it's either, I mean, he had a couple early big losses, but I mean, he played the Saints 12-10. He's played, I mean, the Browns 21-17. He blew out Jim at the beginning, began his demise. I mean, he played the Dolphins tough. I mean, he's got a lot of close games, and his record could be, I mean, he could have 4 more wins easily.
Definitely. I think that he's a lot of his games, like you said, have been close, and that's why I think another one. If we're speaking of comeback seasons, I mean, like you said before, this Patriots team is also done a complete 180. I mean, going from picking in the top 5 in this last draft, and I think the one before that, they also had a pretty high pick where they got Akeem Spriggs out of I think it was South Carolina. But Akeem Spriggs is one of those mouthy corners who's had he was the first like really fast corner to come out of the draft, and he even has a Twitter account, so he's very active. But
Yeah. It's funny. You got 2 teams that have probably the most active Twitter personalities for the player: Springs in Cincinnati and Spriggs at in New England. And Spriggs had some injury problems earlier in the year, but he's a lockdown guy. I know sometimes uh, Grizz gets a little upset if he gives up 1 or 2 passes, but he's a guy that he's a difference maker on that defense.
completely. And he's one of those guys that with his speed, I believe he's got 97 speed. He can travel with any guy in the league. At corner, when you have a fast corner, it really makes a difference because there aren't a lot of teams in the league that have multiple blazing players. So, you know, if you can have that one guy to travel with the fastest guy and really lock him down over the top, that'll make a huge difference on D.
Yeah, that's a good point. I played the Patriots this season, and it was a close game for a long time. I mean, at the end, a pick six with I think it might. I'm not even sure which quarterback he was using at the time because he's had a quarterback carousel. But I know he's happy with Riley Peak, the rookie that he got in a trade from the Giants. So he took that star development kind of lower rated guy, and he's really fell in love with him lately.
And that's something for the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals is going to be very prone to throw picks. I mean, last time we did a broadcast, I made a hot take and it was wrong pretty much every time. But my hot take before this game is going to be that I don't think the Bengals throws, let's say, I think the over under is 1 pick, and I'd go under. I really don't think he's going to throw an interception in this game. He's a really conservative user. I don't see, whenever I play him, I don't see a lot of trying to do too much. Like usually he's just a steady ground and pound, let's get down the field type of guy. And I think we could really that's been what New England has been vulnerable to. A team that can just move the ball consistently against New England and doesn't try to do too much, doesn't try to throw the sketchy passes. You know, they've been vulnerable to that. So I think it'll be a really good game.
Yeah, the quarterback room in Cincinnati is interesting with Winston, Strickland, Trubisky. Those are 3 guys that were either the second or third pick overall in the NFL draft. And you've got the other guy, the 4th guy in the room, Lindholm, was a second round pick, and he's 25. So they've got 4 guys. They have Winston. He's on the IR right now, but we'll see who they throw out. Probably be Strickland. But I mean, I think all four have stats this year, so it's one of those interesting places that both places, New England and Cincinnati, have been experimenting with multiple quarterbacks.
For sure, and that's something I noticed is what's his name? Jameis has been on IR, and he actually is still on injured reserve. So that's been unfortunate for him. I was actually in that game when he lost. Uh, he got hurt against my team, and that was a real turning point because with Jameis was the real centerpiece of that offense. I think he trusted him going forward. As soon as he walked in, he actually said he's like, "This is Jameis's team," and he was rolling with Jameis as a starting lineup or his starting quarterback. So it's all. I think it all rides on Strickland or Trubisky. It just depends on who he's got starting. Like you said, it is kind of an interesting quarterback room there. And next season, we could really see either he makes a trade to a team that needs a quarterback, or something that happens because that's a really loaded. I mean, even his fourth best, he's got James Lindholm there sitting at
Yep.
74 overall. We've seen guys like him just take off for teams like the Houston Texans. So that's having a good quarterback in this league is definitely an important part. So if I mean like a guy like Trubisky, he's mobile, he can move, and 93 throw power. All those guys, aside from Lindholm, it goes Winston has 95, Strickland has 94, and Trubisky has 93. All those guys can huck that ball if they can get somebody speedy and with a little bit of boost there, because that's the only problem for this receiving core. The fastest receiver they have on the Cincinnati team is 90 speed. That'll hurt you because you got to have somebody that can take the top off the defense.
Yeah, that tops the receiver Hughes from Cincinnati. I mean, he's an 87 overall, younger guy. He's got that 97 speed, 87 acceleration. He's not a guy that, I mean, he's not going to be a big trade target. He's not going to be somebody that everybody's going to drool over in the draft. But it's just you're going to see a different type of game from the Bengals, going maybe shorter passes and maybe some play action type things, where a lot of teams right now with those speed receivers, myself included, they're going to take a lot more shots deep, and you're going to see that with Capers from the Patriots.
That's true, and yeah, that is something that yeah. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I am seeing it.
Well,
I just looked at it.
Alrighty. So
No,
we might need to
well,
take an extended commercial break because that's hilarious.
let me
Oh
see.
man,
I didn't even look at the schedule.
I
I was
know.
just taking.
I didn't either. Like I saw 4:30 and I was like, game starting at
Yeah.
4:30. So all right, it appears for you Eastern people, the game won't be starting for another hour or so. It's scheduled for 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. So, thanks to this wonderful broadcaster.
Yeah, I mean, we got a good 20 minutes in. We were going pretty
Yeah,
strong there.
I know. I was like, man, why is this stream not starting? I'm waiting on it, but man, yeah, that makes sense. It's scheduled for 5:30. All right, well, Tosh, you want to put a pin in it, and we will be back here in uh, about 45 minutes or so. I can take a water break and such, or do you want to? It's up to you.
Yeah, we're good. We can cut out and we'll be back.
All right, sounds good. Hope you guys have a good rest of your 45 minutes before the game, and just creating a little drama here before. Looking forward to it. Hope y'all have a good one, and we'll see you shortly.
See you soon. Later.